The company that I work for is a family-owned Italian restaurant in Cherry Valley called Salamone's. They mostly do pizza and pasta and stuff like that. But the first of Porter's forces that I'm going to talk about is the potential new entrants. There's a lot of new restaurants that open up. It's a relatively easy business to get into. There's not a big barrier to entry in the restaurant business. Um, but especially, the Italian restaurants and the pizza places, there's a lot that open up pretty frequently. Not necessarily in Cherry Valley because it's kind of small, but Rockford, which is right there. There's there was a restaurant that closed down. It was a barbecue joint that closed down, and an Italian restaurant expanded and opened up a new location right in that spot. There was a few years ago where there was this restaurant that opened up on that same road actually, and it's called Plume. But when new restaurants open up like that, especially in a certain kind of food, um, it cuts into your market share quite a bit. It can, at least. It doesn't always cut into it a lot, but if that's a big restaurant that has a lot of hype around it and a lot of people are going there, it'll definitely cut into your market share. And then the next force that I'm talking about is the threat of substitute products or services. Pizza and pasta are viewed as very casual options for, eating. So when it comes time to deciding what you want to eat for dinner, it can be anything. It could be tacos, you could have Chinese food, you could have burgers, anything like that. So when it comes down to, there being a lot of substitutes that would all work really well, you have to put a lot more into your marketing to not only persuade people to eat, that kind of food, being Italian food, but you also have to persuade them to eat at Salamone's specifically. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about was the rivalry among existing competitors. I know in the Rockford area, there's a lot of family-owned Italian restaurants like Francesco's, Jerry's, Skiro's, Lino's, and Sam's that have been around since, the 70s and the 80s. So, having competition that's already there, you have to, you got to bring something new and original to the table, and you have to make sure you're competitive with how your food tastes. You have to have a good product, and then in addition to all of that, you have to have competitive pricing because, there's a bunch of people that if they don't really care about the taste or, what the restaurant has to offer, what it comes down to is how much it's going to impact the bank account. So, yeah, with that being said, my three forces I picked were potential new entrants, threat of substitute products and services, and then the rivalry among existing competitors. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you.